Trick or treat, motherfuckers! Halloween Resurrection 2000. I almost said erection. Halloween Erection. 2002. Starring Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks, and of course Jamie Lee Curtis for about 5 minutes of the movie.
This movie was the last thing that gave me an erection.
Yeah, this movie was a total boner killer. No pun intended, because of the killer. Get it?
Yeah.
Not the boner. Anyway, so yeah, this movie was pretty bad. We just watched Halloween Resurrection, you guys. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I'm Dylan, and joined here with AJ and Luke as always.
Glad to be here.
Hello.
Well, I have a feeling you guys aren't glad to be here on this particular episode because this movie was pretty bad.
It was hard to watch.
It was really hard to get through.
I know I've said this once. I'll probably say it again. This was the worst film in the Halloween series.
Yeah,
This
I
is
kind
worse
of
than 6.
I feel bad about like dogging like all the other ones that we shit on.
If
like,
only we knew.
If only we knew how bad it actually was gonna get. But luckily, this is the last one in the I guess what you consider the proper franchise. Even though this is canon to H2O.
Even though, the Thorn trilogy was better than this.
Yeah, I have to say, Halloween 6 was better than this.
And H2O was such a good place for the franchise. It was kind of Halloween was back in that movie, and then they just cheaply churned out another movie.
This didn't even feel like a Halloween movie.
It didn't feel like a Halloween movie.
Feel at all.
No.
But you know what? All the negative criticism this movie's got, this actually was a box office success.
Really? Well, all of these weren't they?
The budget was $13 million. They made $37.6 million.
Well, yeah. Well, all these Halloween movies always make money. So let's go into the plot a little bit. So in this movie, Jamie Lee Curtis, it opens with Jamie Lee Curtis has been locked up in a mental institution for some reason.
It was because she killed a man she thought was Michael Myers.
Oh, that's right.
At the end of H2O.
I forgot. This movie was so forgettable.
She accidentally kills a paramedic because Michael switched his clothes.
He did the classic switcheroo, kind of like at the end of
now
6.
We know when Michael Myers at the end of H2O was reaching out to her, it was actually that poor dude.
Just that poor soul, yeah.
Please stop.
Yeah, please. Lady, you're, I don't know whose clothes I'm in.
But let me add, because I like H2O so much, that makes no sense. Because after she took the Michael Myers character away and crashed her car and stuff, he was doing all the signature Michael Myers move.
Horned in.
I wonder at the end of H2O if that's how they really wanted it.
Probably not.
You don't think so? And then Resurrection,
they just they just wrote this in. They just said, "Well, we're making a new movie. Let's write some silly way."
That's the theme with all of these Halloween movies. Is it's like whenever there's actually a semi decent one, they always just completely fuck it up with the next one. We're back with Laurie Strode. She's been convicted of murder for brutally murdering an EMT that she did not know was an EMT at the time. So she's in the asylum. Michael comes back and kills her, which really sucked. I hated seeing Laurie Strode go out like that.
He finally did it after 20 years.
After 22 years.
Yeah.
23 years. Something like that. Which was kind of anticlimactic a little bit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like all the other films, even the ones that she's not in, the Thorn trilogy, the Jamie Lee Curtis story is still there.
Right.
And it's such a major story. And now it's like, oh, she dies. Well, no one cares because we're doing an internet reality show.
Well, I guess this is technically better.
Dangerment.
Oh,
Dangertainment.
Dangertainment. Such a stupid name.
Yeah.
So I guess you could kind of, in 4 is kind of shitty where they just kind of are like, oh, car accident. That was also like another kind of crap. Laurie Strode has gone out, like they should just, I hope in this new one, if Laurie Strode does die, like if they do decide to kill Laurie Strode in this new one for any reason, I hope it's a lot more epic or better than what we've seen in the franchise so far.
They even made, like when she was falling to her death and everything, they made it want you to be like, oh man.
Yeah, it was very emotional.
You couldn't get it.
She kisses Michael Myers
on the lips
and says, see you in hell.
On his masked lips.
On his masked lips.
Which is like a brother and sister thing, I guess.
So there's a little incest being played in there now. No. So Laurie Strode is killed off literally in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Cut to, we're back in Haddonfield.
A year later.
A year later, we're back in Haddonfield. Don't get your hopes up yet, though, because being back in Haddonfield does not necessarily mean that is a good thing. We're at Haddonfield University, which
Luke pointed
Yeah,
out.
Yeah.
I am so confused because each film we see Haddonfield, I guess Haddonfield's just growing exponentially.
Yeah.
Because in the first film, it's a very small town, and now it's a town with a big university. In the fifth or sixth one, we saw a train station, like an Amtrak station.
Yeah.
What is this town?
hey, those Myers murders have really helped the economy of
Yeah.
Haddonfield.
It helped business.
Yeah, it's helped the house too because it expands every time. The
Oh
Michael's
yeah,
house.
yeah. That house. This,
Myers
although
house.
this one I think was kind of like back to the original,
Yeah.
where it didn't have all the extensions.
It was cool seeing some of the rooms in the Michael Myers house,
like
like the room where his sister was killed, like
Judith. Judith's rooms,
But
looked
they
the
were
same,
all faked. Like all the contents of the room were faked by Busta Rhymes.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So we're at Haddonfield University, and there's some college kids there. I guess they all applied to be on this internet reality show where they're going to go and spend a night at the Myers house, hosted by Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes.
Which their names were Freddie Harris and Nora Winston.
Okay. And it's so terrible. I couldn't remember. You can't
AJ,
remember.
did you remember anyone's name in this
Not
whole
one.
film?
I'm using the Wikipedia. Remember?
I don't think even the main characters.
No, I even asked that during the movie. I go, "Do you guys know any of these people's names yet?" The only
No.
one I remembered was Freddie.
Yeah,
which
Freddie was the only one. Because it was
Busta
Busta Rhymes.
character.
Yeah.
And when they say, like,
intros at college, everyone had kind of a little bit of a side story.
Yeah.
You had like the smart redhead girl who's like into psychology or whatever she was into, and then the other guy who was kind of like a Hyde character from that 70s show.
He was kind of creepy.
Yeah, kind of weird.
He
And then there
was.
was another girl who was also like, she had this academic thing about her.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was this dude who was into culinary. He was studying like culinary arts, and he worked at the school cafeteria. But he took his story of being a cook throughout the whole film and wouldn't let it go.
He reminds you constantly that he's a chef.
He's like, "Oh, let's go in the kitchen. I'm a chef.
wanna
I'll
see-
get one of these knives. I know what to do. I am a culinary expert." And we're just like, Jesus, man, like we get it. You're a cook.
Yeah, there's that scene
Yeah.
where he's like, "This sage smells fresh," and they're like, "That's weird." And I'm like, "Is it? Like, why is that?"
Well, it's weird because no one's lived there in decades.
Well, sure, but it's like I don't know. Anyway, so they've all submitted applications, or they've
He
been.
was trying to share some sage advice on.
Good one.
yeah.
So they've been chosen to go on to this reality show that is, what is it, Dangertainment.
Dangertainment.
God, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
So Busta Rhymes is, I guess he's just kind of like the CEO of this company. He's the one who's kind of pulling the rings. He's the showrunner.
And they have to spend one night in the Myers house.
So already the movie's taking a completely different vibe than any of these films ever have.
Did you guys know that it's produced by the radio station from Halloween 6?
Was that like an Easter egg in there?
That's Dangertainment.
That was the radio station in 6?
Yeah.
Was it really?
It was called Dangertainment?
I'm just fucking with you.
Oh,
Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, that's okay. It kind of made me hate it even more.
Yeah, I was like, no.
I was like, they can't be that on the nose with it. So yeah, they go and they spend a night in the house,
They have
and
to wear head cameras.
oh yeah, they're all light. They got cameras throughout the house, and they're going to be broadcasting it online. Definitely ahead of its game. You made a comment on that.
Yeah, like
How the-
2002.
Yeah,
and
2002.
having a web series.
Ahead
Or
of the
like
game.
whatever it was.
Whatever it was. And you know, Michael Myers is there and he murders everybody. Kind of. There's the Busta Rhymes and the girl make it out. But there were, oh gosh,
Yeah.
there are so many laughable moments with Busta Rhymes in this movie. Like, this movie works so well as a comedy, even though, like, that's not what this movie is. Like, Busta Rhymes plays like a cartoon version of himself in this movie. Also, we were joking that Busta Rhymes talks to himself a lot more than he does any of the characters in this
Yeah.
whole movie.
Apparently, he knows karate.
He's not really breaking the fourth wall either. He's just talking. To
He's just
himself.
talking to himself.
Yeah.
He's like, "Freddy, you good. Pat yourself on the back, Freddy." Yeah, I love that scene where he's watching kung fu movies and he's going, "Get his ass, get his ass, get his ass."
Yeah, he's the Dr. Loomis of this film.
I would have loved it if Dangertainment just set up cameras in his house and we could.
Yeah, that
I
would've
would
been more
love
fun.
that. Would be way more entertaining. And then I guess there's also a character that's like kind of like an online. He's been like chatting with one of the girls, Decker.
which was Sarah's like I don't know what it was, like a pen pal, not a pen
Pen
pal.
pal.
Online friend.
Online
friend.
They hadn't met, right?
I guess
No.
not. No, but they go
They
to the
live in
same
the same
town and go to
Yeah.
the same college. Like, yeah, that's kind of weird.
So he watches the broadcast at a Halloween party.
Yeah,
Which is, what
he's-
I would do.
and he's kind of like the guy. He's texting her. He's texting her, being like, "He's behind you." And then
Yeah.
there's a cheesy line at the end where she looks into the camera and says, "Thank you, Deckard. You saved my life."
Yeah.
So many cheesy.
And then they all cheer for him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Oh, I love that scene where when Myers starts going on his rampage and she looks into one of the cameras and is like, "Decker, help me." And then his buddy goes, "Wait a minute. He's Deckard." And then there's a group sigh throughout the room. They all go, "Oh." Like, it's just so cheesy. There's so much cheesiness in this movie, and it's not like fun cheesiness, just like plain downright bad cheesiness.
When he's in there just in the office alone on the computer watching the show,
Mhm.
and that couple stumbles in there drunk, making out, and then they see him and they're just like, "You perv!"
Perv, like, yeah, he's the perv. Like, come on, y'all trying to screw in an office here. He's just watching his web series.
So we also find out in the movie that the house is set up by Buster Rhymes.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of these like scenes where too many jump scares. Like
Yeah.
so many jump scares.
Just-
More than normal. Like,
Just like H2O.
but like this one had like so many.
I don't think this one had nearly as many as H2O had.
You don't think so?
I
thought
don't
it was
think
like
so.
every 10 seconds.
Like literally the first like two-thirds of H2O are jump scares. Whereas this one, it's like maybe 1/3. Still a lot of jump scares though.
yeah.
I hate the jump scares.
The scene where the two are getting intimate down in the basement,
Yeah.
and like the wall like falls apart and all these dead
Mhm.
corpses comes out, and he looks at it, he goes, "Wait a second, made in Taiwan," like seeing that it's fake.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of, there was a little like neat funny moments I thought that were at least like not terribly.
Yeah, Buster Rhymes is kind of he's masterminding the whole thing, where he's kind of staged the whole thing for his own benefit to get some good scares out of the college kids. And we need to talk about the scene where he puts on the Myers costume.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was just something so comical about like hearing Buster Rhymes' voice come from the Michael Myers mask. Like, how did in editing, how did no one like stop that scene from happening? Why didn't anyone speak up and be like, "This is fucking ridiculous"?
My favorite part of that scene, besides the Buster Rhymes voice, is when he was just scolding the real Michael
Yeah,
Myers.
yeah,
Like, get out of here, man! Why are you in here? I'm Michael Myers.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that scene. And then what was even weirder though is he tells Michael Myers to fuck off in that scene, which he doesn't know is Michael Myers at the time. But then Michael Myers just fucks off.
Yeah, he walks away.
Like, what the hell?
So this is really interesting. The writers of H2O were left with like this issue because Jamie Lee Curtis wanted to end the series.
Rightfully so.
The Akkad guy,
Mhm.
he legally would not allow the writers to end Michael Myers. Like, so like she almost left, but after they came up with the paramedic storyline, like would end her at the very beginning of this movie, she agreed to it. So that is actually why she is not in the
So the grandfather of the Halloween movies is who we have to blame for
Yeah,
this tragedy?
yeah.
Wow, Mustafa Akkad. I was really a big fan up until that point. Yeah, so it was a contract. It was like a contractual obligation thing. Man, that sucks.
And it was the paramedic uniform when Michael Myers is in at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was filmed a day after H2O.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they kind of let me guess. Mustafa Akkad, or however you pronounce his
Yeah.
name, was watching the dailies, and he was like, no, quickly go out there, fix this shit real quick, and then I don't care what the hell shit you write next, we're gonna shoehorn it in. Is how I feel that went down.
I just love that Jamie Lee Curtis cares more about this than the actual.
I
like,
know. Well,
Creators of the series.
I mean, it's sad, but I've been watching interviews of Jamie Lee Curtis promoting the new Halloween, And she really does seem like she cares about the franchise. I mean, honestly, at least
Probably
someone.
hates how it ended.
At least someone does. I think this new one's gonna be really. I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It already looks.
It
great.
seems like they put a lot of care into it.
So, what were your favorite death scenes?
Oh, God.
Kill scenes.
Were there any good ones in this one?
I
See-
thought the culinary dude getting stabbed with 3 knives.
Oh,
Or, like,
yeah.
stuck up on a door with 3 knives. That was a little too much.
Oh, I like the girl getting decapitated.
Oh, I know.
that was a good one.
that
And the
was
head
like
rolls down the
crazy
staircase.
unexpected. You
Yeah.
did that with a knife.
Yeah, with a knife. I think my favorite scene of all time, though, in this movie is when Busta Rhymes breaks in and says, "Trick or treat, motherfucker."
Yeah.
And he hits Michael Myers with the shovel, and then the shovel like breaks in half. That was
My favorite was when Busta Rhymes was doing those martial arts moves.
Yeah.
Throwing in some kung fu sounds.
Yeah.
yeah. They really Busta Rhymes was like, "Hey, you guys need to write me in as like a hardcore kung fu fan," which he probably is in
He
real
was.
life.
It was as if he was in a sense of danger of the real Michael Myers. He knew it, and he still was goofing off, pretending he was in
Yeah.
a kung fu movie.
See,
Like
that's
in the
Busta
face
Rhymes,
of
man.
danger, he just laughs it off and makes kung fu noises.
Yeah. Oh god, this movie was so campy, man. It was laughably bad, and for that, I would honestly recommend this movie.
Yeah.
It's just for a good laugh. Like,
I wouldn't.
okay, this movie is.
It made me, and I'm not even kidding. It made me sick.
yeah, AJ.
Like what got me sick was not only just how terrible it would change cameras. Just it was so flashy. I thought I was going to die.
I kept looking over at AJ. He had this pained, sick look on his face. I just thought he was like hung over. I was like, what
Yeah.
is wrong with AJ?
It was funny, yeah. Throughout the whole movie, I just kept hearing like these noises from AJ. He'd just go.
He was sick of the movie.
Yeah.
This movie literally made him sick.
Yeah, this movie literally. I mean, I was having a good time watching it because I was like, "How bad can this get?"
Yeah.
And every scene that would go by, I was
See,
like,
that's how I
"Come
felt
on, come
about
on."
5. Like 5,
Yeah.
it was so bad, it was funny. This
Mhm.
one was I could not even find humor out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I could find so much humor in this. It
was
was
like-
so bad.
It was bad.
None of the characters are developed enough to even laugh at, though.
Or to care when they die.
Or to know
or to
their
know their
names.
names. Yeah.
It's more of like when they die, it's more of a like, okay, thank God she's done. We don't have to hear her talking anymore.
Yeah, like each one getting killed off, it's getting closer to the end.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're
I
just like,
know.
yes,
You're
one
counting
more
down.
left.
I know they start off in this one, they're like 6 people, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, we just have to get through 6 deaths. That's it.
Or 5.
5 rather. Well, technically 6 because Tara Banks, right?
Well, what about the dude at the beginning? Michael's first
7.
kill? Yeah, and then you
Okay.
got the 2 dudes in
And
the
the-
beginning in the.
okay, yeah.
Well, I know
let's-
those don't count with the house.
Let's
thing,
talk
but-
about that crap. So campy with those security guards. The guy is like stuffing it. They're like, we gotta go. Someone's on the premises. We gotta go. One of the security guards just to stop and grab himself a couple donuts because he
Yeah.
didn't eat dinner. And what an appropriate time to stop at the
Yeah.
vending machine and get some donuts. Then when Michael Myers is on your campus property or whatever. I guess they didn't know at the time. Anyway, I just that scene where he walks in and he finds the one dead body and he's like, what the hell? And then like literally like 5 feet next to the other dead body is another one. But then they have like this whole like where the camera pans over and you see the second dead body. It's like supposed to be a surprise.
He literally stepped over a dead body
Right.
that he didn't
It's
notice.
like, how did you not see it when
That
you
was
first
when I
walked
was
in
like,
though?
okay, this is gonna be terrible.
Yeah, it really, it's from the start, it set the bar of like how bad the movie could actually be.
You know what's sad is Deborah Hill died in 2005, so like shortly after this movie.
Oh.
So she like that's like the worst. It's hard.
Really?
Like think about what John Carpenter and her thought about this film.
Right.
That's pretty bad.
That does stink. That's
But
the last
it
one
was,
she had to go out
This
on.
one was directed by a Rick Rochenthal.
Rick Rosenthal. He
Yeah.
also did 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Rick Rosenthal.
You're right.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Come on, Rick Rosenthal. Okay, 2 was bad, but it was definitely better than this pile of shit. We expect more out of you, Rick Rosenthal.
The more we watch these, I feel like 2 wasn't that bad.
Oh no, I
Oh.
love to.
I
loved
know
2.
I shit on 2 when we recorded it, but I have found a whole new
Yeah.
appreciation for it.
Sure.
Which I'm glad because when you were like, not
I really-
big on 2, I was like, how?
I
2
really
is
did
awesome.
like
Honestly,
2,
I
yeah.
think it goes Halloween 1, classic. That's a gym. That's the only one that really matters. And then it goes Halloween 2, and then H2O.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you really wanted to like have a good series, well, I think okay. Can I throw
Yeah.
one in there?
Do your top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and then okay. If I had to be honest, Halloween 3.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna go for Michael Myers, like not just the movies, I would go Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and then H2O for sure.
Mine was H2O 2 and 1. Yeah, I really loved H2O.
Oh, I did too. I think it's Halloween 1, then H2O, and then Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Well, you got to watch Halloween 2 after Halloween
So-
1, though.
Well, I'm saying I like H2O more than Halloween 2.
Sure. Okay, so the movie ends with the good girl who throughout the whole movie is like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if this is worth it. I don't know if I should do it. She survives with Busta Rhymes after Busta Rhymes is killed 2 times.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes died. It's so
And he
funny.
gets Michael Myers gets electrocuted and like in flames too.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. They should have left him dead at 2. They should have stopped at H2O. That was a
Yeah.
good way to kill him. Like
Oh, I
they
know.
chopped his fucking head off. That's badass. Like good way to send him off.
And then
And-
obviously at the end of this one,
Yeah.
okay. I wanted to say this. Out of all these movies, this is the only movie that ever got me to jump out of my seat, like a scare, like an actual
Yeah,
jump scare.
tell us about the
Okay.
ending,
It was-
the jump scare.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Michael Myers gets electrocuted and burnt. Busta Rhymes is showing no respect for the dead by getting up in his dead, burnt face and being
Oh.
like, "I hope you never rest in peace, motherfucker."
Yeah.
And then they take him back to the morgue, and they're like, "We got Michael Myers," and the morgue
Then they
lady-
left.
They leave her
Good
like,
luck.
"Oh,
He's like, get her,
Um,
get my autograph.
that was the biggest
autograph
scare
for
in the
me.
movie where it ends
Yeah.
and his eyes freaking
Yeah.
open up and
It
it's
just
like
ends.
"Deh," and then it ends.
God, it really did scare me.
They really did save the best scare for last.
It also
Um,
shows that Akkad did want to just keep him alive.
Well, it's
Of
odd
course.
because that sets it up for another film, but then the 2 after that are Rob Zombie. It's a whole other
Yeah,
person.
it's a whole nother
and
thing.
it's not
yeah.
original until 2. Rob Zombie's second movie.
Yeah,
It's not
the
going to be original until then. Do you know what I mean by that?
no.
Like this was the last original.
Oh
like,
yeah. This is the
written-
last of like a part of the franchise, like
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I guess
Because
technically
one's a
6
remake, but I guess John Carpenter's second or not.
I
Sorry.
guess it goes 1 through 4, and then the next series is 1, 2, H2O, Resurrection, and then it's Halloween, Rob Zombie Halloween,
Yeah.
Halloween 2.
Yeah.
And so now we've got Halloween 1 and Halloween 2018.
Yep.
So 4 times, 4 different series. Watch them however you want. Don't
or
do-
don't.
don't do what we're doing and watch all of them because which if you guys listen we're going to do a retrospective
Yeah,
at the end of
at the
this
very
and
end.
we're going to sit down and we're going to scientifically graph out a definitive way to watch these movies so that way you guys can like cut through all the schlock and we'll save you some time. Or if you're crazy and stupid like us, you could just watch all of them and start to lose less and less of a lust for life. So, okay, you guys. So that was Halloween Resurrection. Good Lord. Luke, how would you rate this on a movie level and on a fun level?
I would say 5 out of 5. It resurrected the series. It's back. I'm ready. I'm ready for the no. Movie wise, I would give it a 1 out of 5. Fun wise, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. It was
Okay.
pretty fun.
AJ?
1 out of 5, 2 out of 5.
I would give it a 0 out of 5 and a 4 out of 5. No, I'd say 3.5 out of 5. Luke, yeah, that seemed fair enough. Yeah, so Halloween Resurrection. Would you guys recommend people see this one?
If you're only going to want to watch all of them, you have to.
If you're completionist, but
Yeah.
if you just want a good horror movie, stay away from this one because it's not really a good horror movie.
So
I
did
just
wanna-
wanted them to get out of that house, and it was
Oh, yeah, the whole thing
painful.
takes-
Oh yeah, the
in
whole
that
thing
house.
takes place in the house. Yeah, it's
But-
like a bottle movie.
So I did want to plug something real quick. I just got back from ArtCon in Collinsville, Illinois, and I met a cosplayer of Michael Myers, and him and his wife are very big fans. I just wanted to tell you to go check out his stuff. His name's Nicholas Howard, and I'll show some photos here. of his cosplays, but just really cool. Like after watching all these movies, it was really neat to like actually. He looked, and it was
Yeah.
actually kind of creeped me out for a second. I was like, oh my god.
From the pictures you showed me, yeah,
Yeah.
he looks like a pretty big fan.
But he does all the masks himself, like makes them and everything.
Although you said that he really likes Six.
Yeah, they said they enjoyed the theatrical.
down with that. Six is so terrible.
I guess they're just big fans.
Hey, you know, I'd honestly, yeah, part of the Halloween franchise, I like Six, but if Six was just like its own thing, like that's just a terrible movie.
I think it is regardless.
Yeah.
Terrible movie. But it is fun. It's watchable.
Which one is watchable?
The
is question.
theatrical cut.
Oh boy, the theatrical cut is a little more watchable than the producer's cut, but the producer's cut explains a lot more than the theatrical cut does. Anyway, this is not the. We're not going to go back to that. Never again. We've crossed that bridge. It was so funny, AJ, how in this one you kept bringing up things about Six. Where you're like, oh, this kind of explains what happened in Six. We're like, no, AJ, that's done. It's over. Like, let go.
Yeah.
Like Six is
You're
gone.
living in that world.
Yeah.
You're in the Thorn trilogy,
You
man.
gotta get out of the Thorn trilogy, man. It's done. It's dead, bro. Oh god. So yeah, that was Halloween Resurrection. Good lord. So yeah, next episode we're going to do a double feature of Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. So, you know, tune in for that. Hopefully they're good. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen 2, but I saw 1 a long time ago, and I have a really special story about the first one, but I'll save it for the podcast. So check that one out. I hope you guys like this podcast, and I really hope you did not like Resurrection if you watched it. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.